Welcome to the Revere Veterans and Community Show. Today we have two special guests, a father and daughter. I hope you can tell which one is which. We have Michaela Maguire from the school committee.
Thank you, Morris.
And a lovely lady, Michaela Maguire from Revere, also gone to school. Dan, tell us a little about yourself, please.
Well, thank you, Morris, for having my daughter and
It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
on the Revere Veterans Show. I think you do a great job. You're an asset to our community.
Thank you.
Even though I am not a veteran, I'm a veteran of Revere and the Revere School
You are
Committee
a veteran of the community, sir.
in Revere Public Schools. I attended Immaculate grades 1 through 8, so I have a parochial beginning, and they actually closed the high school when I was in the 8th grade. And I attended Garfield and then the high school, graduated in '77. My dad was a veteran, though, of World War II and Korea. So
Both wars?
Both wars. He was called back for Korea. And, he served our country well. I never had the calling. I served it through working for the Postal Service in 1986. I started out in Chelsea, and I've been in Revere for over 25 years, delivering mail, collecting mail, delivering packages. It's a job I love, so I'm definitely a veteran of the community. I know the community very well, and,
Dan, I'd like to ask you one question,
Sure.
if I may. Since you're a mailman, you ever have any encounters with the bow wows, the dogs?
It's probably the most dangerous part of the job. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because this week coming up is Dog Prevention Week to notify residents. There'll be an article in the Journal about be aware of your dog. And the famous line that I've gotten for 25 years, and don't worry, he doesn't bite. And I've been bitten by 3 dogs that he never did that before, she never did that before. So it's something that people, especially today, a lot of people have dogs. And we have dog warning cards, so if the guy's day off, to make them aware of it. There's been some crazy incidents where a girl opened the storm door and a pit bull came out, leaped, and caught her in the face, and she was scarred for life. So it's a serious problem that 1 week a year they bring it out. We have the dog officer that actually comes to our station. We have them sometimes on speed dial, and it happens quite a bit. So I've been bitten 3 times, never broke the skin, but ripped my pants in 25 years. But there's some carriers that had multiple incidents with it, but it's going to be careful with that. But
Yep, I just heard about 2 weeks ago, an 80-year-old woman was bitten by 3 pit bulls, and she died in California. They attacked her.
Right.
But I don't know if we have a leash law in this city, I believe.
Correct.
I don't think they have one out in the Midwest.
Well, they should. And that poor boy, that Revere student that was injured in the security
when he jumped the
dogs
fence
there.
that time, yeah.
You got to be careful around dogs, because they might look sweet and innocent, and they're wagging their tail, but they're still an animal.
Right. By the way, Michaela, would you tell us a little about yourself?
I'm 18. I go to Regis College. I went to Revere Public Schools all my life. I loved it. I loved being in Revere.
We love having you.
Thank you. I think Revere High School really helped me to adjust to college. I didn't struggle at all my freshman year, so I want to thank the school system for preparing me for college.
Good. I hope you do well. But I got to ask you this question. That you mentioned something about diversity in the schools. Mm-hmm. Could you tell us something about it, or you, Dan?
Well, actually, as some people maybe don't know, but we speak
41 languages.
41 languages, yeah. And actually, there's 55% of the population speaks English as a second language.
As a second language?
As a second language. So it makes the dynamics hard, but it also makes a better student. I feel that Michaela has been exposed to many different ethnic people of all different races and colors. In fact, when she was in the Whalen School, in elementary school, there was a Muslim child that had the turban, and there was some bullying, if you call it, and that stuff. But she got to know the kid. The parents kind of rallied around the kid. I think he only was there a couple of years, and there was an odor to him, and Michaela had brought it up, and you know, it really wasn't the child's fault. He was a clean child, well bathed and stuff, but it was their diet and what they ate. They would give off a certain odor. So we looked into the background of different kids, and you know, you get exposed to that in Revere, and then especially at the high school level, that she had friends of different religions and different beliefs, different color, but they acted as a unit. And I think that's the intangible you get when you get a Revere public school education, as opposed to other schools that you know, you have to pay for that education, but you're not getting the diversity of your community. I mean, I've seen it as a mailman for 27 years, how I has changed from, you know, Polish, Irish, Jewish, Italian, to people of all different races and religions, and even intermarrying. I mean, we have a Cape Verdean and an Italian family, the Brito family. I mean, the kids are beautiful, and it's a Cape Verdean gentleman and an Italian mother. It's just, you know, they're great people. They all attend Revere Public Schools.
Right.
So those are the intangibles you get at living in Revere and getting educated in Revere. I'm very proud as a school committee member, but also as a parent, the job we do with diversity, and there's no infighting.
No, that's why I always say, Dan, if I may, that if you want to see America, you don't have to travel all over the country. You just come to Revere.
Yeah.
You said 41 languages.
That's correct.
I spoke to Superintendent Paul Dakin. He was talking about making Chinese also an educational language in the Revere High School.
Sure, definitely. I mean, all you have to do is walk down Revere Beach, and you'll hear different languages on your walk and see sights, clothing-wise, and verbally-wise.
Right, you don't have to go to Revere Beach. Just go out of the studio and go down Broadway Revere, and you got it right there.
Correct.
Michaela, you're going to Regis College.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about it, and tell us what you want to study, and tell us what you'd like to be after you graduate from Regis.
Okay, I'm going to college to be a nurse.
My daughter is a nurse.
I haven't decided exactly what I want to do, like what nursing field.
Oh, you mean what
Yeah.
type of nursing
Yeah.
you want to go into?
But I know I definitely want to be a nurse and like help people.
That's good.
Yeah.
We need people like you to help us, especially as those seniors, because we need a lot of nursing.
That's right.
By the
That's
way,
right.
I see you got, can I look at these?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're proud of her academic awards, but we're even more proud of her sports awards.
tell us about that, Michaela.
I walked on to the Regis College basketball team, and we had an unbelievable year. We went undefeated, and we made it to the NCAA tournament, and we got this, comes out, but it's just a participant for the NCAA Division III. We went to the first round, but we unfortunately lost. But it was actually a really good experience.
Oh, it was a great experience. We went to Lebanon, Pennsylvania, but the whole basketball experience, it's good to play athletics when you're in high school.
Yep.
And how it can lead. She just, you know, went to field hockey and softball and basketball and partook in that. And I think some kids need that sports-wise. It can lead to like the whole child's educated more. And we loved Revere High. I mean, she was on her junior year. She was on an undefeated team that went 20-0 for the high school girls
Wow.
team.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Congratulations.
having the freshman team and making the team as just walked on, the coach said, "Oh, try out." And not only she made the team better, the coach said at the end of the year banquet, and she was voted the most improved player for the team, which was a great honor. And they have a great pewter plate they give you.
Yeah,
And as the years go on, you get
Show them that right on television.
show them the 3 pins that go around the plate.
This is just for being a scholar athlete because I had above a 3.0 GPA. This one's for the most improved player of the year, and this one is just participating in basketball.
Look at that. That's beautiful, Michaela.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that one, too.
Thank you.
I think it makes for a better college experience,
And
and
what
even a
hap-
high school experience.
What have we here?
It just says the different games and the scores.
Oh,
For the
Yeah,
year.
for the year.
And that was a picture of the team on the court in Lebanon, Pennsylvania for the NCAA Division III girls.
There's a beautiful picture.
There's only 64 teams in Division III, just like Division I and II, that made it, and they were one of the 64. Great
Revere ought to
experience.
be proud of people like you, Michaela, really.
you.
She's part of the hidden jewels of our community.
Okay, Dan, what I'd like to talk to you about, excuse me, on the school committee, what are the future plans for the school? Now, when I spoke to Mr. Dakin, he was talking about a new high school.
Yes, yes. Well, we've we've addressed the buildings, and we're addressing it, at the McKinley School. The high school needs our attention, building-wise, but also we're embracing technology more. We are giving iPads to the whole freshman class coming in, and the next freshman class, and we want to continue that. And over a period of time, actually, Michaela at Regis College, they gave every new coming freshman.
Everyone in the school.
Oh, everyone in the school got an iPad
Yeah.
as part of your.
You mean they just gave you an
Yeah,
iPad?
it's a new thing that they're trying, so they're giving all undergraduate and I think most graduate students iPads.
Right, that's
So we've been very proactive as a school committee and a school community to embrace technology. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight. I think eventually you won't see books. You will see the technology-driven classrooms.
Right, can I say something about the iPad?
Yeah.
Dan? I was in Washington, and we were on the bus, and there was a lady sitting next to me with an iPad, and she was reading a book, not reading a book, the iPad was reading the book to her.
Correct. Correct.
Which is unusual because I was
Yeah.
sitting behind and I'm listening to the story of the book.
Right. Right.
Yep, and I think it was one of the authors that we had up here at Revere, so that was fantastic. Tell us some more. I love that.
It's great that. Well, I think technology would allow also a child that can maybe go faster than another child in the same classroom environment, where a teacher can kind of let you go on the iPad with technology and track your progress and spend some time with the child that need help. I think that's going to be going forward. We
Right.
have teachers teaching teachers, and then they have to get on board. And our teachers have done a great job about embracing new things. Michaela, I think, was the first class that had the block scheduling idea for the high school, where they had 90-minute classes.
Yeah.
Which was, she said, how am I going to stay focused for 90 minutes? It turned out to be great for her. And the teachers embraced it, the students embraced it, so it's part of the culture of the high school.
But I want to ask you something. If the kids use the iPad as a computer, wouldn't that sort of kind of cut down the students that attend the schools themselves, because some of them would never have to show up to go to school? They could do it on the iPad at home and then just come in and take an exam?
Well, I think the classroom environment and being around people, the social skills,
I see.
that's a whole, otherwise we'd have all homeschool kids.
Right.
And
You wouldn't be building that many schools.
no, but it would also save us money technology-wise by not buying books every 10 or 15 years.
Oh, I see.
And the technology is so rapidly that when they get out of high school into the job markets, they need exposure to, you and I never, I mean, we had paper, pen, and pencil.
Right.
And the environment of a teacher teaching it is, and especially in a classroom setting, is the way to go. I see, we have smart boards now. There's no more chalkboards. I know the last time. Do you know what a smart board is?
No, I have no idea.
It's basically a computer-driven chalkboard. It looks like a chalkboard, but it's white, and you can write on it. You can have a stencil and wipe it out. You can bring something up from the internet and the computer. And,
You mean
and
it's like
teach it.
an
You can
iPad?
show video. Basically, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Michaela can tell you how it's
It's a
used.
projector, and it projects like from your computer to the screen, and it's touch screen.
Right. That's
And they're in all our schools, right through elementary, middle, and high school.
The advantage I would see, for example, if like you and I said when we were going to school, we had to do with pen and pencil, is with the computer and the iPads today. Let's say I was weak on a certain subject, like let's say algebra. I could go to the computer and teach myself where I was weak at, for example. Dan?
Yeah, I mean, she can tell you about some of the places they have study island and computer on that you.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, I don't really remember a lot because it was in elementary school that we did all those things. But I know it's good in college, I think, because the teachers put PowerPoints online. So if during the lecture you didn't understand what was going on, you could go back and like read over all the PowerPoint.
I hate to say this, but I'm the stupidest one when it comes to computer, which is true. How old were you when you first got involved with the computer?
I don't even know.
Well,
Young?
she was definitely in elementary school.
Yeah.
I mean,
Elementary?
even some of the
Yeah.
games we would buy as young children were computer games with inserts, so it was already into that monitor or screen environment. And then, like you said, there'd be I know in elementary and middle school they have these programs that you can go home on, and it's part of the teacher and part driven that you can, and it's made to be fun and it's made to embrace technology and getting kids exposed to computers and technology, because you can learn so much more, and kids learn so fast today.
I know that.
They know a lot more. I mean, I'm like you, I'm doing stuff on the computer. It's a great tool. You can research anything you want, veteran, medical, your ancestry. I mean, it's just a whole world. And there's other bad things that can happen that I think we're going to have to address, especially in the school environment. With bullying and texting and these other, the culture of Facebook.
You mean to have computer bullying?
It happens. It's bullying of the 21st century, where you can just sit at home or out in the street on your iPad or on your iPhone, and you're faceless because you're behind a phone or a keyboard, and you're just blasting away at a poor child. And it's
Right. I got a friend of mine, Dan, like he showed me this morning. You can read the morning newspaper on your computer. You don't even have to go out of the house. You don't even have to spend a nickel. Just go to the
exactly.
computer.
Well, that's what it's killing the postal service. My 27-year career at the post office is in a changing world because people they're paying their bills online. That's huge. Companies are sending you an email for your bill,
Right.
and you're emailing. There is electronic transfers, ETFs, so they're no longer doing that. But to me, I've been trying to get the Postal Service to embrace the idea of an educational stamp to get children, especially young K through 12 system, to come up with an education stamp where they stress letter writing. We have these kids graduating college, high school, that have never written a letter to somebody. I mean, how do you feel when you get a letter from a friend or a relative or
I
overseas?
feel good.
It's better than you've got mail. I mean, to me, I embrace getting something like that, and I think no matter what age you are, even young kids,
We had a gentleman up here. His name is Mr. Steve Leon. He's from Revere, a hero from Afghanistan. He got mail from the senior center, and he came down to congratulate us.
Oh.
He was so happy to get a letter.
Right.
But you're right, some of them can't even write. But I also understand that the Postal Service is going to cut down on Saturday service, or they're just talking about it?
Well, it came close where actually the Postmaster General wanted to do it.
Oh, but they're not going to do it there?
The Congress came in and said, no, for now, it's mandated. It's part of what they signed, part of that sequestration that you have to do
Right.
6-day delivery. The Postmaster idea is to deliver packages on Saturdays, express mail, registered, certified mail. You wouldn't get a regular mail delivery, magazines, letters.
Oh, I see.
You would
Junk
get Monday
mail?
through Friday.
Yep.
I hate that word, but
What's that, junk
junk
mail?
mail, but we that's really what we're handling now. Advertisement mail is that, and our package business is tremendous, and they will address the certain things in the contract about pre-funding the health care. I think they're going to address the whole Postal Service over the next 6 months.
Right. This is something that I would like to ask you. This just happened recently that they sent some letters to the Congress people with some white powder.
Yeah, I get nervous about that. I actually, part of my daily route is to collect the 55 mailboxes all along Revere. It starts at 1 o'clock. It takes about 4 hours to do. But when those things happen, when you open that mailbox, you're exposed. We've had them caught on fire. They've had needles in them. They've had trash and other things. But they addressed it for mail that goes to Congress, and they're trying different ways to kind of, almost like they have dogs that sniff for drugs and stuff.
Yep.
They're trying to address when my mail that comes in goes into town, gets sorted, and wherever it wants to go. Those machines are going to be sensitive to ricin and terrorism.
I got to tell you, we used to have a lot of mailboxes around. I used to be able to walk out of my house and around the corner and drop a letter in.
Right.
The nearest mailbox for me is in Stop and Shop now, way in the back over there.
Yeah.
But what I saw one time that really shocked me, and I yelled at the kid. They're smart. I mean, they want to get, like they see you drop a letter in, or they see her drop a letter in.
Right.
They would take a rock, tie a rope around it, put chewing gum on it, chewing gum, drop the rock, and then pull up a letter.
Pull up the letter.
Yeah.
Well, also we've had cases where packages are being stolen, or on check day, they would follow the mailman and then knock closely, and actually we have a whole police service that goes out, and they've been arrested for stealing of packages on the porch step or getting into the mailbox. So you should have some sort of locked, in today's society, some sort of mechanism.
Right. Any money that comes to people, whether they be young, old, or seniors like myself, like Social Security, Veterans Pension, should go in electronically right into there.
Well, I think they're trying to do that.
And eliminate the. I'm not being critical.
Well, some people don't have bank accounts. That's a whole.
Open up
That's
one
why
just
we have
for-
check cashing stores. Why would you have check cashing? It's because people don't have bank accounts. They're sending money back home, and they're living on a paycheck to paycheck, cashing their checks and holding their money. Either they don't trust banks or they don't want to open up an account. That's the society of today, and I think Congress is addressing it somehow. That how these sending so much money, making it in the United States and sending it back to their own country.
Yep. Oh, talking about money. What do you think about the casino coming to Revere?
Oh, I'm a proponent.
So am I.
think my wife is an opponent to the of it. And a lot of times, my wife Adrian and I, and
Oh, I know Adrian
Sacco,
very well. Nice lady.
very good woman, love her to death.
Yep.
And she does great things. So we've been debating back and forth. I don't know how Michaela feels about it.
Right. You know what I get
casino.
most of it I get is the traffic problem. That's what I get most of it. But let me tell you, Mr. Steve Wynn, I never met the gentleman. I don't know those gentlemen. I'm sure he's a hell of a nice guy. But Suffolk Downs has been here 78 years or 77 years. They've contributed to the community all those years. It would be wrong not for someone to come in and just say a brand new to just step their foot in and do something here. Whereas he has been here for 78 years, we'll say.
Well, let's say I'm 100% behind you, and as great in how Mr. Wynn's trying to make Everett look and they're getting it
I know
done.
that.
We have an industry for 75 years of horse racing.
Right.
And here's the caveat with that I don't see that message getting driven by, and it must be the horse racing people. I've talked with Chip Tuttle, and I'm excited about the project. I'm 100% behind it. But we really need people to realize that the horse racing industry will be buttressed to a point where it was in the 50s and 60s. And what that will do is the Massachusetts bred horses, like a New York bred horse, run for higher money to enhance people to own horse farms in Georgetown and Raleigh and Ipswich and Assaun and down the Cape. There's horse farms all over the state of Massachusetts that would get busier and busier. And over a period of years, the Massachusetts Breeders Program will benefit the track, the casino, that person in Raleigh that owns a farm, that horse owner that drops a foal and a baby and raises their horse in Massachusetts instead of New York or Kentucky.
Right.
Those programs have been around for years. Plus, you have 2 convention centers. You'd have a casino with a / horse racing environment that you can experience both. And I love Mr. Fields. He explained his whole thing about he wants to embrace the horse racing and intertwine the casino with the horse racing. Because you go to like Delaware Park and have friends that run in Delaware and out of state. The casino's here, separate. You walk through a door and then there's a racetrack. I don't like that. I love Mr. Fields' idea from the beginning that he wants you to experience Suffolk Downs, the experience of watching live horse racing, and also being able to bet table games or slot machines right there and being part of the action.
But you know what would be, the money would be kept right here in the city of Revere and East Boston.
Exactly. And as far as educational, as a school committee member, we would benefit as a community. But also that money, they're going to be very proactive on the compulsion of gambling, and a lot of people are worried about that. And thanks to Kathy Reinstein and Senator Petrocelli, Bob DeLeo, they have made the casino is going to be give the most back to that segment of the population that needs that help. So my idea is to tap into that money for educational purpose for addictions, because we have the drug problem is here. It's always been here, and it takes you away from education. It destroys so many lives. So I see us, educationally wise, helping our student population from that.
Exactly, because all that money would go for
and
education.
Parents, I mean, my big push going forward is we're making teachers better teachers. We're spending time on professional development, technology, strong teachers picking up a weaker teacher that kind of, and we have this whole new thing, teachers, and teachers. We also need parents teaching parents. I mean, my wife and I, parental involvement has been tremendous because we really care about the community.
I know that.
We watch the kids grow up. And I think some parents have a tough time. There's language barriers, there's ethnic barriers. We need to bring down the walls and say, you started out at kindergarten, and parents get very active at that age, and then they kind of slack off in middle school, and they kind of disappear when you're in the high school level.
Right.
That's the most important time is the whole time. The students get a lot of homework. I get complaints from guys I work with who have children. They get so much homework, but they're going to be a better student. Their parents don't even ask their child if they're doing their homework. We've come out with a parent portal, so you can actually tap in and you get updates 2 to 3 days at a time. You can go online and check your student's progress.
By the way, I had Mr. Chip Tuttle here. He's the nicest gentleman you could ever
Good. I didn't even know he grew up in Salem. He's a father, got 2, 3 kids. I thought he was like an outside guy. No, I think he went to Salem High School or something.
What he talked about that I liked, he said that the Suffolk Downs would create about 4,000 jobs.
Correct.
And it would bring in, and the first thing he would look to hire would be veterans, believe it or not.
Right.
To hire the ones that come back.
Well, that's how the track was started.
Oh, it was?
In the 30s. They had all those gentlemen there was a crunch for jobs then. All these people out of work. They built the track in, I don't know, 3 months' time in the
78, 1935.
Exactly. So there was a big rush to put these veterans coming home to work. So it's almost like you see that
repeating
with
itself.
Afghanistan and Iran and all the conflicts and
Right.
getting these boys out and getting these men and women back, but where are the jobs? This casino is about jobs.
Right,
jobs.
and you know something else? When you have a casino and you bring a lot of people in, they not only go to the casino. If they want to go to a restaurant, they could go down Broadway to a fine restaurants or Squire Road where they have them.
Yes, and they're actually going to have a program that's going to let restaurants and businesses partake where you get rewards for your play. You're rewarded by a night at the hotel or something, or a cash reward.
Like you get points.
But you'd also get a $100 gift ticket to a local restaurant that partakes that you could purchase with your casino reward points. And again, the community benefits.
Right.
Everybody benefits.
Pretty good. By the way, we have a few minutes left. Michaela, you're so pretty sitting there. You got to wrap it up.
I brought her to make me look good. They make us look good, Morris.
And anything makes me look good. But go ahead, Michaela. Go ahead. Take a
What are you looking
couple
forward to as sophomore year at Regis?
I'm looking forward to, I know graduating will be really
Good.
upsetting, but I'm looking forward to
Not for me.
being a nurse. And
Boy, I tell you, I wish I was 50 years younger.
Yeah.
Maybe 60.
Yeah.
And Dan, how about you? Take a few minutes to wrap
Well,
it up.
I'm looking forward to experience her next 3 years at Regis. It's been a great start for her. I'm so proud that she's going to become a nurse. I come from my older sister is a nurse, and she's actually just retiring. She spent the 35 years at the Wooden Hospital. She ran the emergency room for 29 years, and now she's going to put her papers in the end of September. My wife is a registered nurse. She graduated from Mass General School of Nursing back in the 80s. So
I didn't know that.
She was 17 years at the Mass General Newborn Intensive Care Unit before taking the Revere Recreation job. So she loves nursing, and now she's a nurse in the Revere Public School System. So it's in the family, and Michaela's been exposed to it, and I look forward to Megan, my youngest daughter. Megan's a 7th grader at the Garth. She'll be an 8th grader coming up next year, so looking forward to her transition to the 8th grade and then her transition to the high school, and watching the city grow and hopefully welcoming a casino, and retiring from the Postal Service and getting a job at the casino. Do you hear me, Chip Tuttle? No.
Don't forget, Chip, Dan Maguire, and a veteran.
There you go.
Michaela, let me thank you for coming up
Thank
here. It
you.
was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Dan, it was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank
God
you,
bless
Morris.
you both. God bless the city of Revere. God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America. And again, Michaela and Dan, thank you for coming.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Morris.